Hey there, welcome back to Mommy Reboot TV. I'm your host, Jody Agard, and today we are talking about a very popular topic, and that's called losing yourself through motherhood. So there was once a time before you had kids that you could eat whatever you wanted, you could eat whenever you wanted, you could sleep whenever you wanted, you can go the places wherever you wanted, and you can do basically whatever you wanted. And then you had kids, these beautiful little bundles of joy who we just give our love, massive amounts of attention to. And then there's a day where we're kind of like, who are we? And whoa, how did I get here? And who am I besides a mother, besides a wife? And there's often this feeling of just disconnect of, yes, I'm a mother, and yes, I'm a wife, and yes, I'm a girlfriend, and I'm yes to all these identities that I'm showing up every day to be. But at the same time, who am I? And it's really easy to get lost in the throes of motherhood. You know, there's this, here we were, here we are now, or here we used to be, and then here we are now. And in between that is kids and doctor's appointments and extracurricular activities and family functions and birthday parties and friends and sleepovers and homework and dinners and meals and cleaning the house and all of this stuff. And it's super easy to lose ourselves in the thick of it all. So, like for me, I used to love riding bikes. That was just something as a child, as a teenager, that was like my first car. I loved riding bikes, that freedom to just go wherever I wanted. And then when I had kids, I forgot about it. It got pushed off to the back burner. Same with dancing and music. I loved dancing and music. And what happened when, after I got married and I had kids and I started being in the thick of motherhood, that stuff just fell off to the wayside until I picked it up again, which is what I want to talk about. Because there's 3 ways. First, let's talk about 3 ways we really lose ourselves in motherhood. 1 is our lives revolve around our kids. So every weekend, every holiday, every vacation is always about, what do the kids want to do? What do you think would be really fun for the kids to do? And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just something that comes really natural and easy to us moms. But at the same time, we have to reel it back in. Number 2 is we often stop caring how we look. We just let go of it all because it's like, well, we've only got the baby here today, or we've only got little guy here today, so what's the point? Or my husband is so busy with work, he doesn't notice if I'm dressed up sexy or if he compliments my outfit, so why not just do whatever I've been doing and just stay in my comfy pants and my comfy clothes for weeks on end? And then 3, we have these identities around our jobs. So especially if you are the career mom and you are just that go-getting mom or woman, that go-getting woman who just completely dove into her career, and now you have kids and now you're a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're a part-time home mom, and maybe you're working at home, maybe you're working out of the home, but there's still this idea of, oh my gosh, I've completely lost myself because I was this go-getting driven career woman, and now I'm changing poopy diapers and cleaning bottles day in and day out. So those are the most common. There's several different ways that we lose ourselves through motherhood, but those are the most common that I hear throughout my coaching practice of how us moms just lose ourselves so easily to who we really are. And so now let's talk about the fun part of 3 ways to reconnect to yourself and who you used to be, and kind of bridge that gap a little bit more. 1 is going back to the things that you really love to do. So earlier I mentioned I used to love bike riding, and so when I started my self-care journey, that was one of the things that I started automatically. I went out and bought a super cheap bike, and I loved it. It was my very first go-to of coming back into who I was before I was a mom. Because here's the truth, is that before you were a mom, you were fill in the blank of your name. You were that person before you met your partner, before you met your husband, before you met your wife. You were that person well before all of these people came along. And you want to hold on to that as much as you can and start sprinkling that back into your life as much as you can, wherever you can. Number 2, take care of yourself. So you guys always hear me talking about taking care of yourself, and essentially that's why I have this channel, right? So that we can learn more about self-care and what that really means to the busy mom. And what that means is, you know what? Let your kids watch TV. Let your kids watch TV while you go play dress up in your closet and see what you can get rid of, and then also see what you can bring into your closet. If you are the girl who loved buying new clothes and just having new clothes and maybe just fashion, start sprinkling that in. I'm not saying to go break the bank, but just start sprinkling that in a little bit. If you were one who used to be really big about always having your hair done, go get your hair done, girl. And if you can't get your hair done, then just do your hair. Put it in a braid. Do it French braid while the baby's sleeping, or while the baby's napping, or with the sitter, or while the baby's just crawling around in front of you, or maybe just while the baby or the toddler is watching a little bit of TV and you're having fun with your hair. If you used to like to travel, start implementing those things. Start making those dates. Start planning ahead for 2020 and 2021 to do some traveling outside of your family. And on the weekends, start thinking about, what do I want to do for the weekend? What is it that I want to do? Maybe it's, if you think about the last time you went and saw a movie and maybe it was a cartoon and you used to love going to the movies, then maybe it's just a matter of going back to the movies by yourself. Or maybe it's a matter of, if you're like me, like I said earlier, I love music. And so maybe it's just more about implementing and listening to your own music that you used to love. And even if it's gangster rap and you love gangster rap and you don't listen to it because it's completely inappropriate for your kids to hear, drop them off and then listen to it. But start implementing those things of the way that you used to be and start bringing them into the new version of who you are today. And then the last, make sure that you're just, the whole story is just make sure you're not neglecting the things that really bring you pride and joy, and you're not sacrificing that for the sake of your kids and for the love of your kids. The last one, number 3, is connect with your friends. So I know for me, I am super social. I love and adore my friends, whether it's just a quick conversation or whether it's a lunch or a coffee date or whatever it is. Start connecting with your friends and find super simple ways that you can get those on the calendar, because that ultimately will help you to make you feel more of yourself. And that's the key, right? Because you are still that person who you once were back in your early 20s before you had kids, or early 30s before you had kids, is still there. But now it's time to create the 2.0 version, which is something I'm constantly telling my coaching clients, is let's create the 2.0 version for you now. And let's start bringing in those old things that you used to love and bring them into this new version of yourself. Because then, really then, you'll be able to really serve your family and your children when you're really happy and you feel connected with yourself and you feel like you are who you are and you're not dishonoring yourself. Because I feel like there's a big great disjustice when you dishonor yourself, and you don't want to do that. Not for yourself, not for your kids. And at the end of the day, we want our kids to always feel connected to themselves too. So in a sense, you're kind of modeling for them that it's important to always stay connected to yourself. No matter how old you are, no matter what you've got going on in your life, it's so important to stay connected to yourself. Okay, guys, feel free to comment below. If you thought of a mom who would love this video, send it to her. And then if you haven't joined my private Facebook group, head over to Facebook right now and go look for Mommy Reboot. We would love to have you. We're a super awesome group of non-judgy, compassionate moms, just really trying to figure out this whole self-care thing. And again, thank you for showing up today. I hope you have a marvelous day, darling. And go have fun. Go do something for yourself, or at least get it in the calendar so that you can go do something that makes you feel connected to your old self. Whether it's bike riding, music, painting, the arts, making Legos, building blocks, whatever those things are, start sprinkling them in. Even coloring. Adult coloring books are a great way to start sprinkling it in. All right, guys. Have a great day.